It's a new day. It's Friday. Good morning to you. Glad that you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. We are glad that you could be joining us this morning for those of you that normally start your Friday with us and for those of you that are in town for the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of taking us to church and putting in a little bit of rock music for WWE weekend.
Yes. Well, listen.
A little John Cena, too.
And John Cena way there. Yes, I've been looking at all of the street signs that have been changed for WWE weekend. I love all of that. I love the energy. And I hope that you are ready for a good weekend here in Indianapolis, even though it is a foggy start.
If you think about it, this is the time of year which is, as Lindsay Monroe says, January is the only month that lasts
3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
Well, it's ending now.
Good.
And we're going to go into a season where we've got the SmackDown and the Royal Rumble, but then a week from Saturday night, Billy Joel and Sting at Lucas Oil Stadium. So we've got all this packed in. The weather will cooperate kind of this morning if you're heading out. We want to let you know we do have school delays this morning. Nineveh, Hensley, Jackson, North White on a 2-hour delay, not because of the rain that moved through or this little bit of light rain, mist and drizzle that's out there right now. It's because of fog, and we have some dense fog in spots. Case in point, downtown Indy, where we can't even see our beautiful skyline this morning. This is a look at some of the visibilities in the I-70 corridor from 2 miles at Greencastle and Crawfordsville to 1 mile in Indy, 0 in Greenwood, 1 mile in Shelbyville, now down to less than a half mile in Carmel. In Newcastle, the visibility is at about a 1/4 mile. So this is not widespread, but it is getting more widespread with Muncie and Shelbyville both at 1 mile visibility this morning. We want you to really be careful, folks. It's not just here, this dense fog. Basically what happened, we had rain that moved through last night. Now we're in a position where, yes, we do have sprinkles and mist, but we have no wind. So this clouds form close to the ground from Milwaukee to Chicago, from Springfield to St. Louis, all under these dense fog advisories this morning. So here we are, warm, unseasonably warm. In fact, 4 degrees warmer than the average high in Indy, Richmond, and Lafayette. And it's already 46 in Bedford this morning. That is highly unusual, folks. We should be in the 20s this morning at this time. We're running 11 degrees warmer than yesterday. Let's serve up at the breakfast hour your forecast. A couple of showers around today. Not a lot of rain, but be careful for that fog. Today's high 52. And Matt, it looks like this fog could stick around now for several more hours.
Yeah, you were looking at those dense fog advisories earlier. A lot of them go until 10 o'clock this morning. So a good amount of hours still left of these very gray and misty conditions. This is what it looks like along I-65 looking northbound in Franklin. Can't really see very much there in parts of Johnson County. You can see kind of this eerie orangey glow there with a lot of the street lamps by the interstate. Then we take you to where we do have one of those dense fog advisories in place. Wayne County. We're in the western part of the county. This is State Route 1. You're looking westbound along I-70. You can hop off for Hagerstown or Cambridge City. Hagerstown, you're headed to Union City for a big TEC conference game against the Union City Indians. We're going to have a lot of games this evening. Hopefully the fog won't be as thick, but there may be some showers, just like Chuck's been talking about.
Thanks, Matt. This morning, the NTSB is looking into 2 black boxes found at the crash site after an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines flight.
Right now, we know 3 people were on that helicopter. 64 people were on the American Airlines flight, including passengers, crew members, and elite figure skaters.
Also this morning, NBC News is reporting staffing in the air traffic control tower at the time of the crash was not normal. That's according to an FAA internal report. So soon divers are going to resume their search of the Potomac River where the aircrafts collided. And we want to give you a look at the search area.
So we're also getting information this morning about one of the victims killed, 26-year-old Azra Hussein from Carmel, and an IU grad who was on that American Airlines flight from Kansas to D.C. Her husband, Hamad, was at the airport when she didn't return. He talked about her passion to help others.
What do you want us to know about your wife?
My wife was such a giver. She gave and she gave and she gave, almost to the point of where she didn't think about herself enough.
Well, she and her husband had just moved to D.C., and she was coming back home from a business trip when she was killed.
Indiana Congressman Andre Carson is weighing in on the Washington, D.C. crash.
He sits on the aviation subcommittee. Carson says the helicopter seems to have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, broadsiding the plane. Carson also says it's important to remember it is very early in the investigation and it's not the time to speculate.
He says lawmakers will be discussing what happened in detail and how to keep it from happening again.
Now, those of us on committees of jurisdiction like transportation are trying to get to the root of what needs to happen in terms of making sure that our aviation safety workers are staffed up properly, that we have the proper administrators in there who can get the job done and efficiently and restore some confidence into a workforce that is very stressed right now.
And Carson says he expects formal meetings about the crash to start next week.
Well, this morning, President Trump is also weighing in on the crash. During a news conference yesterday, Trump says the nation is grieving for every precious soul that has been taken.
The president also took aim at past administrations and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
I put safety first. The FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so.
And it is important to note that the investigation, again, is still in its early stages and no official findings have been released. But on Sunrise at 6:45, we'll explain the actions just taken by the Trump White House on FAA policy and who is heading up the agency. We are closely monitoring any updates on this D.C. midair collision. We will have the WTHR app on your phone. That's a good tool, so we can send you notifications as soon as we get new information into our newsroom. Well, at 6:06, we are working to learn more about a pedestrian on the city's far east side. This happened last night on Washington Street near German Church Road. That's where police found a person in the road that had been hit by a car. At last check, they are in critical condition. So we have reached out to see if there have been any updates on how they're doing. We're also working to learn what happened in the moments before this crash. Well, turning now to an update on a tragic story that we have been following this week. A man is now in custody in connection to the death of a 2-year-old girl.
The girl's mom is facing murder charges and her boyfriend was just booked into the Marion County Jail on criminal assisting charges. Plus, we are learning more about the circumstances from court documents. We do want to warn you that some of the details and photos could be disturbing.
So 13 News has been going through court documents which detail how Chantel Gardner told police that she would leave her 2- and 3-year-old children at home alone for days at a time occasionally. Gardner says that she came home after she was gone for more than 24 hours to find Skylar underneath the dresser and cold to the touch.
We now know Skylar's autopsy report shows multiple injuries contributing to her death, including bruising, bite marks, a puncture wound on her neck, and injuries to her feet. Court records say Skylar also had hypothermia. When investigators took the temperature inside of the apartment, the highest temperature they found was just 51 degrees.
This morning, teachers and IPS supporters are fighting against a bill that they say would be detrimental to the district and public schools across the state. It's House Bill 1136, and it would mean that public schools would become charter schools in districts where 50% or more of its students are already enrolled in charter schools. But at the IPS school board meeting last night, those against the bill made that known. Some argue that this is the opposite of what should be happening.
More charters, more choice. These bills we're discussing tonight are precisely the opposite direction that we should be moving. Free schooling with good services that's easily accessed should be an absolute right for every single child, regardless of how much money their family makes.
Others took to the mic questioning the loyalty of some board members. The board read a unified statement reinforcing that they stand with the community and its students. They say this bill is a non-starter and that IPS must remain a public school district. Well, Indianapolis is no stranger to hosting big events, and here we go again. This weekend provides another chance for the Circle City to prove why we are the best there is, and the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Exactly,
Listen,
so nobody can top Indianapolis,
don't even try it.
So 60,000 fans are going to be here this weekend for the WWE Royal Rumble, and a chalker is joining us live with everything you need to know about this weekend. Hey, Anna, are you working on your chokehold on Drew there?
Uh-oh.
Hey, we've been practicing all morning, letting the rain pass through. We are having a fun time out here this morning, and I'll tell you, I've been checking tickets for both SmackDown and Royal Rumble. They're available, so get your hands on them now because they're looking pretty cheap, so you want to make sure you get a good one. But hey, there's so much going on, and it starts here in just a couple of hours. Let's start at 10 o'clock this morning. That's at the Royal Rumble Superstore inside the convention center. Here you'll find your favorite merch, memorabilia, and even meet the stars. Now, just down the road at the Marriott Hotel is WrestleCon. This is the place to go to meet other big fans, and guess what? It's free, but you will have to pay to get pictures and autographs with some of the legends. We're talking the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Sting, and so much more. This will open at 2. Then at 7:30, the event tonight, SmackDown inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And like you said, we're expecting over 60,000 fans here this weekend, and some tell us Indy is the perfect place to show off how big WWE truly is.
I'm 21 now. I've been a fan since I was 9. I mean, I feel like it's something once you get into, you don't ever leave.
It's certainly a great way for everyone to kind of come together, and I think that's what WWE does such a great job of with their fans.
There's also a lot to do outside of downtown. For a full list of everything going on, just head to our website right now, WTHR.com. And not only are the fans excited this weekend, the stars are too. We caught up with them as well. You'll hear from them. That's coming up at 6:30.
We'll see you at 6:30, Anna. Thank you. Stay dry out there. Well, at 6:11 this morning. Good morning, Chuck.
Yeah, you can tell from Anna's live shot there, we've got mist, drizzle, fog, and this is a look at Tipton this morning, where visibility is at about 2 miles. Also here in downtown Indy, visibility near 0. So this foggy morning has produced 2 dense fog advisories, one to the east, one to the north. But the fog will break for what I think will be a pretty good weekend, and we'll have your 7-day outlook coming up.
Well, this morning, President Trump is signing a pair of executive orders making changes to the FAA. Coming up at 6:45, we'll explain the reason behind these executive orders.